I've decided to build a TT bike on a budget. I want to see if I can build a rapid TT machine without spending the earth. Something that will have comparable performance to a TT superbike that costs thousands and thousands of pounds, or dollars or euros, or yen. Why though? Well, I love time trialling. I'm really passionate about it. It's the ultimate race of truth, just rider against the clock. And although I'm in a privileged position now where I get to ride amazing equipment, this hasn't always been the case. And I don't want high cost to be a barrier for entry to others. So, let's crack on. I've got a lot of ideas of things I should be focusing on to maximise performance. Over the years, I've spent a lot of time trying to maximise my own performance, mainly because the engine hasn't always been up to scratch, so I've had to get the most out of the bike. But this has given me a great idea of the things that I should be focusing on and that are most important, and things that aren't as important. So, for example, ceramic bearings. They're really cool, but they're a really decadent purchase, and they can make a slight improvement to your drivetrain efficiency, but there are much more important things that we should be focusing on that give you far more bang for your buck. And first, the first piece of the puzzle, we're gonna need a frame. So I've scoured eBay, Craigslist, Gumtree, all those places in search of a used frame. Something that's a bargain, that's what I'm looking for. And after lots of searching, I've found this. I'll wheel it in. It's a Cervelo, you can't see it, I need to lift it up. It's a Cervelo P1, and I absolutely love it. A classic aluminium TT bike from 2009. So I think what I'll do is I'll put it up on the wall behind me, take the Orbea down, and then I'll show you about it and tell you why I picked it and what I'm going to do to it. So here it is, my P1. I absolutely love it. Full aluminium frame, proper threaded bottom bracket under there. Nice. It's got Ultegra 10-speed on it, mechanical, and these beautiful teardrop aerofoil tube shapes on the down tube and the seat tube. And these are proper 3-to-1 aerofoil profiles. And the UCI actually banned tubes that taper to a point like this. And that's why on more modern bikes you see flat back tube profiles as kind of like a design compromise. But these, proper aerofoils. Now we've spent just over 400 quid on this bike on eBay, but I reckon if you spent longer shopping around, you could drop on and get yourself a bit more of a bargain, and something around £300 for a bike of the same kind of spec. But I wanted this particular bike, and there's a number of reasons for that. Firstly, Cervelo P1, awesome. I remember when it first came out in 2009, and I really wanted one. I thought it looked amazing, and to make matters worse, well, one of my mates had one, and I was really jealous, but I couldn't afford one at the time because I was just a poor student. But now I can, and I've got one. The next thing is I did my research, and this bike is pretty much bang on with the original spec it came with back in 2009, which suggests it hasn't been used much at all. So there are a few signs on it that suggest it's in really good condition and has had light use. The bottom bracket is original, the chain almost looks original as well. The cassette is original as well. These wheels are one of the best clues. There's very little rim wear. There is a little bit, but as you'd expect, but very little. Those rims are in excellent condition. And although there are a few little marks on the frame here and there, I mean, that's just dirt. There's a little one just up here, and there's one just there. But the frame is in excellent condition as well. I love the paint job on this bike as well. I mean, it's pretty much in GCN colours, isn't it? But the nice red, silver and white. And also, good fact for you, the P1 shares its name with a famous nightclub in Munich, P1, mein Lieblingsdiskothek in München. Now, another thing you could do, and it's something that I considered doing, was just buying a frame set on its own. There are quite a few for sale on eBay. But a big motto of mine is anything for an easy life. And by getting a complete bike, it costs you a bit more money, and there's parts in it you might not want to particularly use in your build, but it can save you a lot of hassle down the line. So where I'm talking about are things like seat post clamps and mech hangers. If these are broken, dodgy or missing with a frame set, they can be really difficult to source because pretty much every single bike has its own individual one, and this can end up costing you quite a bit of unforeseen money down the line. So to eliminate that, I got a complete bike in good condition, and then I'm in control of my own destiny. I can pick and choose the parts on this that I want to keep and the parts that I want to put away and maybe put in my bits box or try and just sell them on separately if I don't need them and they're in good condition. And there are plenty of components on this bike that I want to keep for my build. So the bottom bracket, that's in excellent condition. I've given it a spin, there's no play in there, bearings are running smooth. That cassette is in really good condition. You know, the chain's in really good condition as well. The rear mech, fine. These shifters, they work fine as well. The front mech, not sure about that yet. I might, we'll see. So what am I gonna do to this bike to make it as fast as possible without spending a huge amount of money? Well, that's hopefully going to form the basis of a few videos over the next few weeks. And then once lockdown is over and I can go outside, I'm going to field test it head to head on my local time trial course versus my Orbea Ordu TT Superbike. I'm going to ride at the same power and ride both bikes back to back and just see what the time difference is for the two bikes. I can't wait to test it. But in the meantime, I'm going to crack on and make this bike as quick as possible. So, first thing I'm going to need is some wheels, and I've been shopping around and stalking quite a lot of sets on eBay. Check this out. So, these arrived in the post today. I'm going to crack them open. I managed to get a good deal on these. I mean, I paid a bit more for my frame than I could have done if I'd spent longer shopping around on eBay, but that's sort of been balanced out by the wheels because I paid £100 for these. Oh God, wrecking the place. So these are the wheels, the other ones in that box down there. These are Swiss side Hadron 485s. They're an aluminium box section wheel with a carbon aerodynamic flange on the top. And they are, one of the reasons why I was able to get them so cheap is they are used and they have seen quite a lot of wear. So there is a bit of, I can feel there's wear on the brake track, like so slightly concave, but there's still plenty of use left in these, more than enough for what I'm planning. And you know, if you were just using them for time trials, it'd be fine. But let's check the Freehub. Sounds good. Needs a bit of grease in there, but I can sort that. Now, what I want with these wheels, and the reason why I can't use these ones, is because what I'm actually going to do is build a disc wheel. I think that's what I'm going to try and do in the next video. So I'm going to build my own disc wheel onto the back for the rear wheel, and then the front one, I just wanted a deeper one for better aerodynamics than this shallow box section that's on this one. One of the most important areas that I'm going to need to optimize on this bike is the cockpit. Now, I've done a lot of time trialing and I've spent a lot of time in wind tunnels and doing aero testing, and I've come to a position that's pretty good. So I'm confident to try and replicate that position on this bike, and I feel I'll know that'll make me more aerodynamic. And one of the things I want to try and do is, well, get my elbows higher than they'll currently allow me on this bike, and then bring my hands up. And so at the moment, this bike's kind of like this, but I want it to be more like this. And it's a bit like what they call like a praying mantis position. Thinking behind it is that your hands are like punching a hole through the air, and then your head is going through that hole that your hands have already punched, whereas it tends to be quite effective and a lot more aerodynamic for a lot of people when they test it and then they go on to do faster times in races. So I'm willing to bet that it works, and it's worked for me. So that's what we're going to try and go for. Now, to do this, I'm going to have to try and play around with this, or maybe swap out some different parts. I'm going to get on eBay, get scouring, see what I can find to replace that. I'm also going to go through my bits box. This base bar as well will not do. I mean, it's a perfectly good Vision base bar, but it's quite wide. I mean, we've seen a trend for base bars to get narrower. That's like a 42 base bar, and you're not really in the base bar in time trials, so I don't really need that. I want that to become shorter, more like a 36, and then that's less frontal area on the bike. It'll make quite a big difference. So we'll do that. And then also this brake and these cables. If I can simplify that, that can make the bike more aero as well. So there's brakes you can get that are more aerodynamic than a standard caliper. I'm going to see if I can get one of those. And also, you know, I mentioned about potentially going one by at the front. That would also have the advantage of removing one of these massive cable housings out of the front of the bike. And in terms of whenever you think about aerodynamics and making a bike more aero, the leading edges and the front of the bike are always the things that have much more impact than things further back, because when you get further back, the airflow is already disturbed. Here, you've got, well, mostly clean air getting disturbed by these leading edges, and this big cable, well, that's not ideal. I mean, it's probably only like a watt, but every little helps when you haven't got many watts to play with. Something else that I'm going to change on the bike, chain set, right? I mean, well, maybe not the chain set, the FSA Gossamer cranks, they're fine. But the chain rings themselves are quite small. They're just a compact 50-34, which if I was riding a normal bike and going somewhere hilly, that'd be ideal. But for time trials, I want a bigger gear, because this can make the drivetrain more efficient, and it means that I can really keep on pedaling hard when I'm going on descents on some fast courses. Other things I'm going to do are to optimize the tires. So we'll get some faster, lower rolling resistance tires on there. That's a really cost-effective performance upgrade. Latex inner tubes in them as well, and I'm going to strip the chain off and wax it for the ultimate kind of drivetrain gain, and that's not going to cost me much money. I mean, I'm going to strip the whole bike as well and re-lube it and get it all running nice and making sure everything's tip top. One thing I was wondering about is, should I custom paint it, or, well, try to custom paint it? I've got no idea what I'd do. I've never custom painted a bike before, and I do quite like this colour scheme. So I think what we'll do is have a poll in the app. There'll be a link so that you can click through to the poll in the app and vote on it. Should I custom paint this Cervelo P1? I mean, I really like it. It's GCN colours, but I don't know. We'll let you guys decide. And if you do think I should custom paint it, let us know in the comments, like, what you think I should custom paint it as, or like what colours or how or whatever. Any advice? One of the things I'm hoping to do with this project is to show that you don't have to spend loads of money to get a really fast bike. And also, although bike frames do make a difference aerodynamically, what makes the most difference is your position. So the main thing is trying to get the position right on this bike. But for now, what I'm going to do is give it a good clean, which is, well, it's going to have to be in my apartment, isn't it? Fortunately, I've made a video on how to do that, so I'll probably just watch my own video and then go do it. But in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you've got ideas for things that you think I should do to make this bike faster, let us know in the comments section down below, because although I do have a plan in my head and I do have ideas of what I'm going to do, I'm still flexible. So if you've got any good ideas, I want to hear them. And if you like what we do, then give us a follow, and also if you've enjoyed this video, give it a like. And if you'd like to support the channel, shop.global cycling network. You know what you do. You get hoodies and sweatshirts and mugs and all that jazz, all the good stuff. See you next time. I tell you what as well, this bottle cage is coming off. That is not staying on there. Don't need to drink in a time trial.